What's going on, people? My name is Eric Piccione. I'm an American living in Russia, and a couple weeks ago I made a video about the fact that we're going to be officially selling off our property in Cincinnati or in the States and moving permanently to Russia. So figured while I'm at the house in Cincinnati, I might as well make a couple videos before we officially sell everything off and move on out. So in this video you will see us going from Russia to America through the different airports and transitions and what have you, and then a little bit of grocery shopping. So I'll let that roll and I'll have some narration throughout, and then at the very end I'll offer my closing remarks. And then just a side note, I will have other videos that I'll post, assuming I have time, throughout the next couple days as I'm here for the time being. Might do a house tour or just off the top thoughts between the two countries. So stay tuned, God bless, and catch you in a bit. So our journey starts going from Yaroslavl to the Moscow Vnukovo airport, and that is the gym complex that is right around the corner from our house. A little bit sad. I actually, real quick narration, I have never seen a gym outside of a gas station before, so I figured I would record that real quick. After getting to Vnukovo Airport, we actually ate at that cafe before last time we were here, but we were trying to find the lounge that we could go to because we have what's called a priority pass through the bank that we work with. The problem is it doesn't work, of course, due to sanctions. We didn't find that out until later, but we ended up walking around, checking in through security, and then officially got to the lounge a little bit later. This is our premium lounge. Say hi.
Hi.
I got the most random assortment ever. I got Napoleon, some drumsticks, pudding, I think a pizza, champagne, mors. You got
It is pizza.
Drumsticks. There's also beer from the tap over there. There's a coffee machine, little appetizers, and then desserts and cakes over there. There's like the entrees, and then there's a full wine bar over there. All the liquor in the duty-free section of the Vnukovo airport. It's all in euros. It's cool. We're in a bit of a rush, but it's always nice to see this nice, big, spacious airport in Istanbul. We got about 20 minutes before our flight boards, so we're gonna skedaddle. I didn't do the best job recording our transitions from plane to plane or terminal to terminal, but this is us in the Chicago airport. We ended up taking a train or tram, if you will, to the next terminal or gate. It took all in about 30 minutes from getting off the plane to the next gate. But once we got there, we were just walking around trying to find stuff to do, and had about a 4-hour layover in Chicago before our next flight to Cincinnati. What's up?
Yes,
Let's
find the lunch.
It was a lot quicker than we thought it was. It was like quite literally 15
Look
seconds
at it from this level.
to get through. I wonder what it'd be like to have that as a pet.
There, look at this little tiny.
All the airports that I've been to, I think Cincinnati Airport has the most efficient layout, at least to me. I mean, I'm sure there's others, but I like it because there's 3 total terminals and 2 concourses. So to get from one end to the other is literally just a straight path, and it's very hard to get lost because there's no major transition buses or ways to get from point A to point B. It could be about a 15-minute walk from end to end, maybe. But usually you can get to where you need to go in like 5-10 minutes, which is super nice. the other
heavy
one.
And that's the light one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. You got the other one too.
Let's go home.
It's like, feels like 18 outside.
No.
18
It's 75 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's like 18.
It's so nice. It's
36. Oh shit, no, maybe that's 20. That's 60 or 40. Maybe like 22.
Do you feel how humid?
So an interesting fact about Cincinnati is that it connects to two other states, Indiana and Kentucky. So we actually pass all three states, or all two. We pass Kentucky and Indiana on the way to our house because the airport is actually in Kentucky. It's about 10 minutes outside the border. And then you go through Indiana and then eventually you get to Ohio. So even though the total drive is about 30 minutes to our house, it's just funny to say because my wife, when she worked in Kentucky, she needed to pass through all 2 or 3 states to get to her work. So it was always funny to say that. But it's an interesting place to live because you have it's called the tri-state. But yeah, just a fun little fact. But this is our little drive up. There's a couple ways to get to our house. The really pretty way is directly through the downtown center, and we didn't get a chance to drive that way this time, but this is like the back route through this little small town right next to our house. But decent little spot. A couple of you guys were asking to film surrounding areas and like houses and what have you. The interesting thing with Cincinnati is it's a little bit of an older city, so a lot of the houses were built in a very unique way, what I would call shotgun homes. So you have these very long, skinny houses in most of the city square. You might see a couple of them in this video, maybe 1 or 2. I think I get it right at the end here. But what's interesting is, yeah, just the layout of the city. Just another fun fact real quick. This place, Skyline, is known for their chili. I'm not a huge fan of it. They put cinnamon in it, but I wanted to film this because it's a Cincinnati staple. All right, first time in over 2 months. You know what? It's actually,
my plant is dead.
it's quite nice in here. Smells different.
Yeah, it smells like nobody lived in here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, so much.
I know, so much.
Mail here. It's a whole pack.
Wow, it's so much bigger than I remember it being.
What happened to my plant?
Oh man. So this is the wall of bread, if you will, in one of our stores. Pretty decent selection actually. You can find just about any style that you want. The challenge though with American bread is it's very squishy. It's not very nutrient dense like Russian bread where it's almost a rock because of how pure of ingredients it is. One of the biggest differences that I have seen is that America does a great job of offering just about every option of something that you might want. And one thing that I will miss is just the abundance of ready-made coffee. I'm now to the point where I might use an IV or inject coffee into my system, but I will miss the fact that there's just so much available options in the States. There's not nearly as much. I think I found 1 or 2 possible brands of coffee that's ready-made, not ground coffee or coffee beans. I know it's not like the best quality, but hey, man wants what he wants, you know. And in a little bit, I'll get to the what's called kombucha, which, if I'm not mistaken, the closest equivalent that Russians have at least is what's called kvass. But kombucha, I have found it in stores in Russia, but again, same exact thing where it's a lot harder to find. And I don't know, maybe it's just the carbonation. I have no idea why I like it, but it tastes pretty good to me. Alrighty, we're gonna play a game called How Much Do You Think this costs. So how much do you think a dozen of eggs, chicken, peanuts, tomatoes and onions, apples, whole milk, bread, pancake mix, 2 sticks of butter, cheese, and some fruits and veggies costed all in? If you guessed $78.10, you were correct. Shortly after going to the grocery store, we went to Sam's Club, which is the equivalent in Russia of Metro. So it's like a wholesale store where you can buy just about everything you could possibly need, but in large quantities. So bulk pricing for really everything. So you can get some really nice TVs, jewelry, you can get glasses, you can go to a cafe. There's tons of candy options, but this is ideally better for people that need large quantities for families or for a business, or you go once a month to a grocery store. This would make sense, but there's a lot of times where you might have hundreds of one item, so it's not a place that we frequently visit. But I wanted to just go through a lot of the staples or some of the staples that you can find here. So your butter will be about $13 for a handful of sticks of those. I think there's like 12 sticks. 3 pounds of daisy or sour cream will be about $5. And all of your staples that you'll see on this video or these videos are listed. But very interesting store. It used to be one of my favorites to go to, just because it was always fun to walk around and view products. I actually had a vending machine business for a couple years, and this was one of the stores that I went to so often or so frequently. It's actually quite convenient to shop here because they have an app and you can scan items and pay before you leave the store, before you check out. So by the time you get to the end, they check your receipt and then you can leave, versus waiting in line to have your bags scanned or doing self-checkout. Like, you can scan and go. The app is literally called Scan and Go, but you can grab your items as you're shopping throughout the store, and then by the time you get to the end, you have really bought all the items already and you can just pay all at once. And you'll definitely be buying much more than you typically need in most cases. Like, for example, here you can get, I believe, 5 pounds of apples for just about $6.50 or $6. So price per pound, not terrible. I like to find apples for about or under $1 per pound. That's ideal. I would go to Aldi for that, which is more of it's like a German based grocery store, a little smaller, but they have what I would consider like more affordable prices, but the product quality I can't say I'm a huge fan of. And the funny thing too that I realized, oh, by the way, this is a rotisserie chicken that you can get for $5. That's what they are like proud of. It's actually very good, but all your main meats and what have you. But one thing that I found very interesting is, comparatively to Russia, America has organic products and they're like regular standard products. But in Russia, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I don't think that there is such a thing as organic, because all their products are naturally sourced. So anything you buy from the store is organic already. So that's a very interesting thing. And for us, we pay a bit of a premium for products that are quote unquote organic. So, all of the bread selection, you'll get a ton of bread. I wouldn't consider this like good quality bread, but it is 2 loaves of bread, a handful of slices. I don't even know the quantity of slices, but a lot of what I would consider crap bread. It's very squishy. So maybe someone might get mad at me for squishing that bread. But the interesting thing is it's like a sponge here in America, and over in Russia and most European countries, it's a lot more thick and like nutrient dense. So that's a really nice difference, at least from what I've seen. Sam's Club is great for a lot of things like impulse purchases. My wife and I will go and grab sushi quite often. We just can't help but get some of the items that are new. Like, we go once every 2 weeks or so and just grab something different, because there's always some new product that comes in that's a large quantity. So it was always fun to try. But yeah, your basic alcohol section, they have a lot of like champagne and wine and mixed drinks. I don't remember if they have any like hard liquor so much, but more on the lighter alcohol side that you can get. So a lot of mixed drinks options, but it's a really interesting store for a lot of people that might need like massive quantities for their business or for parties, for big families. It would be very hard to shop at these wholesale stores like Costco or Sam's Club or BJ's without you having multiple family members, because if it's just you on your own, I suppose you could buy here, but oftentimes you buy so much that you throw away most of the product because you got so many things. So it's definitely a store for people that need large quantities, but you will find better pricing. At least I found better pricing here than most grocery stores or most hardware or electronic stores, because they get better price deals because of their parent company, which is Walmart, is one of the biggest grocery stores in America. And this is more for like getting the best possible price on items. So if it's something that you buy a lot of, then going here makes a ton of sense. But yeah, you can see like right away the quantity of stuff is just so much. It's massive bags. Usually you're buying pounds and pounds of items. So it's a really cool store. I actually enjoy shopping here a lot, and I'm hoping that I can find a similar store. I don't remember the last time I went to Metro in Russia, but very curious how it will look or feel, because I think the common phrase is everything's bigger. Well, bigger in Texas, but just American sizes are a lot bigger too. But I would like to make a video of stores in Russia, because a lot of the things you'll buy are in much smaller quantities because you make more frequent trips to the store. But I think most stores in America are built so that you will go once every couple weeks, so they need to supply you with enough of stuff to make your next trip worthwhile. So yeah, you can see like you can buy home supplies, flooring, clothes. I mean, really everything that you would pretty much need in your house. I mean, there's not a lot of variety in the sense of each individual product. Like if you're looking for a specific type of fruit or nuts, you might not find it. But as far as if you know exactly what kind of cooking oil you need, and you know that this store has it, it's a great option to go. But if you're looking for more variety, other grocery stores would make much more sense. And I guess this is as good a time as any to ask, if you're not already, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting. I post a lot of content, not specifically about Russia in general, but just the differences between America and Russia, my thoughts on the two, just things that I find interesting in my life. And I try to give updates on what my family's doing, where we're going, what we're doing, what we're thinking, and all that fun stuff. So if you want to see content like that, please consider subscribing. It does help me out a ton. And share this with people that might be considering either moving abroad or just maybe a different perspective on what the American media tells you. So hopefully that can be something that you can use as an ability to get a different perspective on life abroad. So thank you so much, and we will continue walking around Sam's Club. Nothing crazy. I mean, at least not to me, because it's very, very common to have this available in most cities. But obviously for people that have never seen these kind of stores, then maybe it can be a bit of a wow factor. I remember the first time we brought my wife's grandma and family in here, they were shocked because they were coming into town a couple years ago to help raise our daughter for the first couple months. And it was definitely a shocking experience when they came in, and the building is so massive and just so much of everything. Definitely a shock for people that have never seen it, but obviously for people that have this around the corner, it's not a big deal. And if you guys have other videos you want me to show, or maybe some other topics you want me to cover, I'm happy to do that. I didn't really go through every single aisle. That definitely would have been a much longer video, but I wanted to go through just get the gist of what exactly the store looks like and how it functions and what have you. And then, maybe if if you guys want me to do another video while I'm in America, I'm happy to do that. But I have a couple other videos that are coming out in a couple days that will shed some light more on the side of the mentality of America versus Russia. You just be on the lookout for that. Again, if you're not subscribed already, feel free to, and that would be greatly appreciated. So like I mentioned, I used to be in the vending machine business, so I came here very often to buy sodas and snacks and like chips, things that were considered junk food, because that's what sells really well in the vending machines. But came here all the time. This aisle, I checked almost weekly to see if they had different drinks or options available. I wanted to show this real quick. So we have, I don't know if it's very common in other countries, but at the right here, there's what's called Beyond, like the brand Beyond or Beyond Burger. And it's an artificial meat. It's not meat based. It's more plant based. So I figured I would throw that in there. Just curious if other people have it. Obviously, America is very proud of their big like fireworks. I'm sure plenty of other countries have like a cool fireworks. Or I just found this funny. It was kind of hilarious to like walk by and see these like massive fireworks laying around, but nothing crazy. We have a holiday coming up on Monday, Memorial Day. This is a recent addition. They used to have a person that did this, but this square looking thing is AI, and it just scans your cart as you're leaving to verify your purchase, something like that, to help speed out checkout times. Not sure exactly how it works. This is actually one of the biggest differences I've seen between the US and Russia, or just European countries. So this is what we would consider our premium butter. It's called Kerrygold, and we are very proud of how it operates or how it works. And what was very interesting with Kerrygold is how much it tastes like water, at least compared to Russia's butter. I'm sure our European butter in general is pretty good, but what was so interesting to me is that Russian butter is so creamy and it tastes so good. It's to me so far the best butter I've ever had. Whereas Kerrygold used to be my favorite butter because it was so like much higher quality. But now, after trying Russian butter for a long time and getting used to it, coming back to the States, that was definitely a big shock. Obviously, all dairy products are the same, where it's all water based, or there's a lot more water in there. Just it's not nearly as flavorful. Whereas I had Russian milk, or I had milk in Russia for the first time, and it was by far the most, like, the best tasting. It was also very weird. I was very confused as to what it was when I first had it, but that was something that I realized when I came back, is just how different dairy products taste, and obviously a lot of other things. But that was I wanted to show that real quick on camera. One of the biggest things I'll miss about living in Cincinnati is the attachment to wildlife. I mean, of course there are many cities in America that have this, but obviously with our house being in Cincinnati, one of the things I will miss the most is how often we'll start seeing wildlife in our backyard. Like our house is attached to a small stretch of the trees and woods. So it was very nice in the mornings or in the afternoons seeing wildlife walk around. Like just this morning we walked outside and we saw a bunch of doe and just hanging outside, just staring at us, acting like it was their property. So I love that. That's something that I would definitely will miss. But one thing that I do know we will do is in the future, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, we will, God willing, be able to build a country house that will have access to wildlife the same way that we have here. And we could build our own version of paradise, the one that we really have grown to love. So it will be something sad to get rid of, living in Cincinnati. It will be something that I won't fully, it's an emotional attachment for sure, but it is something that is the best decision for our family, and we can always have this same experience somewhere else, but I will miss that. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching this video. Hopefully it gave you some insight, or maybe it was entertaining in some way. But thank you so much. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe, hit some buttons, share with someone that might want to watch content similar to this. But thank you again, And if you're not already, subscribe to my Substack. That's where I post weekly newsletters, or consistent newsletters at least. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. God bless and take care.